Welcome to Running the Table, the podcast where we run through everything on the table in the world of college basketball. Back at again with another Boiler Ball recap, this time on the right side of the box score. The Rutgers Scarlet Knights found their way into Mackey Arena tonight, and based on how it went, I'm sure they wish they hadn't. But without further ado, let's run it. So this game ended with a final score of Purdue 96, Rutgers 68. Absolute brutal, demoralizing win for Purdue over Rutgers. Purdue came into this one looking to bounce back in a major way against Rutgers, and they stepped up to the challenge. The Boilermakers dominated from start to finish, putting up 52 points in the first half, and the only reason why they didn't reach 100 is that they put in the at very end of the bench for the last 5 minutes. So going into some of the top performers, of course, as per usual, you've got Zach Edey, who played in a very, very efficient way today, scoring 25 points on 7 of 8 shooting, 11 for 11, perfect from the free throw line, 7 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, and 2 blocks. So for him to put up 25, only taking 8 shots, is a big reason why Purdue was able to put up as many points as they did, because the rest of the guys really stepped up as well. Somebody who stepped up, and not a name that we usually talk about in these recaps, Cam Heide ends up putting up 18 points on a perfect 7 of 7 shooting, 4 for 4 from 3, 2 rebounds, a steal, a block, and a great, absolutely Dr. J-esque reverse layup going down the baseline. It was a super fun game to watch from him. Great to see him finally get some significant time and really show what he's able to do both on the offensive and defensive end of the floor. For Rutgers, we've got Jeremiah Williams as their top scorer with 12 points on 4 of 7 shooting, 1 of 2 from 3, 3 for 3 from the free throw line, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists. And right behind him, you've got Noah Fernandez with 11 points on 4 of 6 shooting. He was 2 for 3 from 3, 1 for 2 from the free throw line, 1 assist, and 1 steal. So clearly, I mean, when you put up 68 points, you're not going to have too many guys scoring the ball all that well. And with their leading scores being 12 and 11, that really showed there for Rutgers. But that's not what they're known for. Some honorable mentions here. We've got Lance Jones for Purdue, who ended up putting up 17 points on 7 for 14 shooting, 3 for 8 from 3, 1 rebound, 1 assist, and 1 steal. So 17 points, great. You would obviously hope to be a little bit more efficient, but when with the rest of the team playing that well, he really didn't need to. He found ways to really make his mark felt both on the defensive end and just being a great presence out there on the floor. And for Rutgers, you've got Jamichael Davis, who ended up with 9 points on 2 of 4 shooting, 5 of 6 from the free throw line, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, and 1 block. So he found a way to get most of his points from the free throw line. And that was one of the things that Rutgers actually did pretty darn well in this one, was get to the free throw line. But we will get into that in a little bit. This game was just complete and total domination from the jump. There's honestly not really that much to be said other than that Purdue came in as the better team. They played like the better team, and Mackey didn't make anything easier for Rutgers. It was a bit of a slow start for the Boilers, though, as Rutgers kept it within like a 3-point lead, fluctuating a little bit here and there as far as 10 minutes into the first half. But that's when the Scarlet Knights hit a wall and Purdue took off. Within 2 minutes, Purdue extended their lead to 12, and it was all Boilers from that point. Their defense was able to shut down Rutgers' offense, and the shots just kept falling for them. The second half was more of the same, with Purdue extending their 18-point halftime lead to over 30 with 14 minutes left to play. So for those first 6 minutes of the second half were more of the same of the way that Purdue ended the first half. They really could have kept running up the score if they wanted to, but they let a lot of their bench guys play through a lot of the second half. Guys like Caleb First and Miles Colvin, each getting 5 points in the second half, and Mason Gillis raining in a couple threes, as he usually does. But the last 5 minutes, they had all their bench guys in, and that kind of just turned to the very end of the bench to the end of the game there. So going into some key points for these two teams, for Purdue, it was really find your shots. This game felt like Purdue got whatever shots they wanted. They stayed patient, found ways to get the ball into Edey, but when those easy baskets weren't there inside and the double teams came, they found the open man with kickouts and skip passes and knocked down their open threes at a pretty high clip, shooting 12 for 23 overall from the three-point arc, good for 52.2%. And on a similar vein, find the open man. It kind of goes along with staying patient and finding good shots, but Purdue ended up with 22 assists on 33 made field goals today. So they moved the ball really well and played really efficient basketball against what is typically a very good defense for Rutgers. KenPom has them as the 4th best defense in the country, and Purdue could have put up 100 on them easily if they wanted to. For Rutgers, quite simply knock down shots. I mean, Rutgers had plenty of opportunities throughout this game. They got to the line and shot it well, like I mentioned earlier, going 17 for 20 from the free throw line. Not many teams find a way to get to the free throw line 20 times against Purdue, so they found ways to attack the basket when shots outside weren't really falling or from the mid-range. But they just didn't make enough of their open shots in general, which is really what got to them down the stretch. Granted, Purdue didn't make it easy on them, and Rutgers isn't known to be a very dynamic offensive team. But if they wanted to stay in this game with Purdue playing as well as they were on the offensive end, Rutgers needed to do a little bit more of at least trading buckets to try to stay in this one until they figured out a way to stop Purdue on defense. And secondly, forget and move on. I mean, honestly, this game was going to be a difficult game for Rutgers to have much of a chance going into it. Purdue coming off of a tough loss, looking to show the type of team that they really are, which they didn't show at Ohio State. And Mackey was ready to get behind them, especially since most of the students weren't able to be here for Purdue's loss to Rutgers at home last year while we were on the end of our winter break. All in all, best for Rutgers to just forget this one and move on. Purdue got back in track in a big way in this one, and they'll look to carry that on their next game when they travel to Ann Arbor this Sunday to take on Michigan, a very much struggling team looking to play spoiler, similar to how Ohio State was able to. Hopefully, for our sake, that Purdue will shut that down real quick. As for Rutgers, they'll get Maryland coming to the rack this Sunday as well, with both teams sitting right around 500. They'll both be fighting for their lives, trying to get some momentum going into the Big Ten tournament. But that's all I've got for today. Still counting down the days to March. It's my favorite time of the year, but we've still got a couple of regular season games left before the Big Ten tournament. So stay tuned for those recaps and keep an eye out for more Boom Buster Believable episodes as I get as many done as I can before the big dance. But until then, like and subscribe for more college basketball content. And until next time, I'm out. Let's go.